Hello students. So we continue further our discussion on case taking. We have studied in the last presentation what instructions Dr. Henneman has given to the physician for case taking. So just have a quick look at what we have so far discussed about case taking, that physician is on a mission to restore the sick to health, to cure, as it is termed, that is there in aphorism number 1. So what is the mission is to cure, and how to reach to this cure is the pathway of case taking. So the physician's job is to build the totality of symptoms for selection of similimum. So he gives the instruction to the patient first, that he will ask the patient to speak slowly so that he can write down the patient's symptoms one below other, and he will not interrupt the patient during his narration. Only if the patient wanders off, he will stop the patient and bring back to the point of concern. So patient narrates, his history is given, and he narrates about his sufferings. The relatives also contribute, and physician remarks at the end. He will find through his senses. That's we have already seen. And to complete the totality, he may need to ask few questions. Now, in this presentation, we will see what are the instructions given by Dr. Henneman to the physician and how to frame such questions. See, again, I'm telling you, so much minutely Dr. Henneman is giving us the instructions. How to frame the question, that also is being told by Dr. Henneman. So it is not just collection of information, but how to frame the questions. So in this presentation, we will see what are the instructions given by Dr. Henneman for framing the questions, to furnish the remaining details, and to build the totality of symptoms, to select the similimum, to accomplish our pathway to cure. Okay. So we start with our discussion now. So it's aphorism number 87 regarding the instructions to physicians. So physicians should never to ask leading question which suggest answer to the patient. So he will not ask any leading question which will suggest answer to the patient. We will see the examples later on during this discussion. Otherwise, the patient may get misled. So why he should not ask leading question which suggest answer to the patient in either yes or no. If this happens, the patient gets misled. So what may be the result now if such thing happens? That half true, false answer can be given by the patient from indolence to the which will please the physician. So half true, false answer can be given by the patient either from indolence which will please the physician. So false picture of disease and unsuitable treatment of disease may result. So Dr. Henneman tells us very clearly to avoid such kind of questions. So what will be the situation otherwise? What will happen? The false picture of disease may be constructed. Okay, and unsuitable treatment may be the result of this situation. So Dr. Hahnemann instructs us to avoid completely such leading question which suggests the answer to the patient. So the suggestive questions are not asked, okay, which suggests the answers either in yes or no. The leading questions are also not asked, which leads to certain answers. And the last important point, that the question which suggests the remedy is also not to be asked. So the suggestive question is not asked, leading direct question is not asked, and a question which suggests the remedy is also not asked. So the clear indications, the instructions given by Dr. Hahnemann for the physician during conduct of case taking. So we proceed further. So during case taking, the further instructions are, if voluntarily patient has not narrated about some functions of body or mind, then physician asks what more can be told about these parts, these functions and state of his disposition of mind. So physician asks what more can be told about these parts and these functions and patient state of disposition of mind. So now he will use general questions as why, how, when, which are open-ended questions. Okay, they don't suggest any answer to the patient. They are asked in a general expressions. They are asked in a general expressions. The symptoms of mental generals are asked, which will furnish the information about disposition, patient's humor and patient's memory. The information about his physical general symptoms like sleep, general modalities. What are general modalities? That is, if any aggravation from sun, if patient gets any aggravation by traveling by road or by any other means, and if his patient's wounds are healed or if they are delayed. Okay, so all this information comes under general modalities. You can also ask if patient is getting, if he can tolerate the fasting state, if he gets some symptoms like weakness or headache or the mood gets irritable, it becomes his general modality. So the information about physical generals like sleep, general modalities, stool, urine, heat, sweat, whether the sweating causes the staining on the linen, whether what is the odor of the sweat, patient's cravings, aversion, thirst and taste, they are asked by the physician. So we go further. So what we have to learn here, always open-ended questions are asked like how, when and why, and because they don't suggest any answer to the patient. Patient will think and give the answer which will be a truthful answer. Okay. So we go to the next, that is aphorism number 89. So physician relies chiefly on patient for description, right? So what is the source of the symptoms the patient will be giving to the physician is patient himself first. Okay, so physician will rely on the patient for the description. The fiend diseases. So except in the fiend diseases. What are fiend diseases? Patient pretends he is suffering from diseases. So in such condition, he will be giving the physician a false information. Okay, so at that time the physician cannot rely on patient. So physician asks more precise information, the details of certain symptoms, okay, so that he completes the totality of symptoms. So in relation to the patient symptoms, the physical general symptoms are asked, like the frequency of stool, the exact character of the stool, the exact character of vomiters, the taste of eructation, and other questions on urine, sleep. That is again physical generals. Okay, the questions are also to be framed for constructing the totality in fever cases. So the chilliness is present at what time, heat is present on which parts, how is the thirst, does patient require fanning, does patient require covering, and during the chill, heat and sweat stage, all these things are asked. Okay, so the time of occurrence of chill, heat, sweat stage. Okay, so the patient's requirement of fan and covering during chill, heat and sweat stage. All these things are to be asked by the physician. Also, the data about the menstrual symptoms in case of females, the data about their obstetric history is to be obtained by the physician if patient has not told anything voluntarily. Okay, so that was for the how to construct the question. Okay, and now what we have seen very important is not to ask the leading question. Okay, and ask in the pattern of why, how, when. Okay, so how you got this complaint, when did you get this complaint, this is the way you should ask. Okay, which will not suggest any answer to the patient. So we have seen in the aphorism number 89, the instructions to the physician is about that physician is able to complete the symptom. He is able to build the totality of symptoms and not just general symptoms and mental symptoms alone, but the characteristic symptoms in the physical symptoms and mental symptoms. So the characteristic symptoms are important in totality of symptoms for the selection of remedy. So physician's job is to construct the totality as we saw in the discussion in the revision. So the physician's job is to arrive at totality of symptoms and for they are necessary for the selection of similimum. And Dr. Henneman is very clear that it is not that all the symptoms in the totality are will be pointing to the similimum, but the characteristic symptoms will be pointing to the similimum, and all symptoms which are characteristic symptoms in the totality are very important for the selection of the remedy. So physician's job is to listen to the patient's narration, and then at the end when where he finds that certain data is incomplete, he will ask to the patient to complete the data, to complete the information for forming the totality of symptoms. And how he can do this? By asking certain questions. And what the pattern he will follow in asking the certain questions is to ask an open-ended question and never a leading question. That is the most important aspect Dr. Henneman describes and instructs the physician. And then the minute details regarding the location, sensation, modality, and concomitant are asked by the physician so that he completes the totality of symptoms. So all of you try to understand what are the instructions given by Dr. Henneman and what are the most important points which Dr. Henneman is again and again discussing in these aphorisms. So I have kept this presentation also very short so that you are able to focus on the points which are discussed by Dr. Henneman and the instructions, the minute instructions given to the physician for the construction of totality. And again, it is a chain. When the physician is able to construct the totality of symptoms faithfully, that is by fidelity, then the selection of simillimum is easy and it is always based on characteristic symptoms present in the totality. So characteristic symptoms will be observed by physician during patient's narration or in the second stage when he himself asks certain questions to the to the patient regarding his mind as well as body. So this will complete the totality of symptoms. Okay, thank you.